So if you guys haven't already heard, recently on Amazon Prime, a new show dropped. Now, I mean, this is an Amazon Prime exclusive, which is pretty rare. Like, we don't see that a lot. But dude, this show is gas. You want to know what it's called? This show actually blew my expectations away, and I think it will blow yours too. I'm sure you've heard of it, but this show is called Invincible, and it is the new 2D superhero show, but it's crazy. I decided to step away from anime for a second and some Netflix shows and find something else. I figured out that everyone was talking about this new show called Invincible, this animated superhero show that was only 8 episodes long. I decided to give it a try, and I watched that entire shit in one day. I knocked out all 7 episodes that are currently out in one day. Each of them are 48 minutes. I couldn't believe it. If you guys haven't heard of Invincible, I'll give you a quick summary. It's basically just a superhero show that is a little bit different. The show is basically about this guy named Omni-Man, and he's from another planet, and he's super strong. His goal is to just protect Earth. That's why he's on Earth. And on Earth, he has a son, and he also has superpowers. Essentially, the show is just about defending Earth and becoming a superhero. And you know, there's different teams like the Guardians of the Globe, which are like the Avengers, and the Fight Force, and like other like groups of superheroes. The show came out of nowhere, but it's very, very well produced, and it has some of the best voice actors and writers out making the show. Stephen Young, Glenn from The Walking Dead, is the main character of the show. Omni-Man is voice acted by Tenzin, J.K. Simmons from The Legend of Korra. Justin Roiland comes in for a cameo, and a ton of other actors that you're gonna know if you actually watch the entire show. You can just hear them. So you have really, really good voice acting for all the characters in the show. You might think that the 2D animation is simple when you first start watching, but you're gonna realize, bro, it's pretty high quality. Like, one thing I will say about the show is that may turn away a good amount of people is it's really, really gory. I mean, like, really, really bloody. Like, there is a ton of massacring. There's a ton of violence. Like, this show is rated R for sure. I mean, they're dropping the F-bomb 3 to 4 times an episode, sometimes more. I mean, there is no filter on anything in this show. I mean, every episode of the show, you're seeing somebody's guts get ripped out, bro. I'm sorry. And it was a little bit much, honestly, but it was cool. Like, it's action. It's superhero action. People are strong as shit, bro. They're gonna be punching through people, all right? It's the show. I can't necessarily tell you the show's premise without, like, spoiling it, but I can tell you that there are many, many twists in the show that you won't expect. And that's kind of the reason you want to just binge through it, because there's a lot of cliffhangers, a lot of interesting endings that make you think, like, you know, what's going on. I think you can definitely get attached to a lot of the characters in the show. There are really, really good characters. In the 7 episodes the show has been out, I already feel attached to some of the characters. It's partially because of the voice acting, but it's also because of the relatability of the characters. Like, the characters feel kind of real. Like, the show takes place in like a modern time, so there's like phones and all that stuff, and everyone, you know, they're talking with hip language. I mean, the show is kind of like a superhero Rick and Morty almost. Like, I feel like it has that same kind of comedy and same kind of vibe, but being a little bit more grounded when it comes to the actual plot. But I was really impressed with some of the fight scenes. Like, some of the animation that they pulled out was really, really like advanced, honestly. Like, I haven't seen simple 2D animation used in this way before, that they're able to make these fight scenes so intense and so colorful and so huge. I mean, it's dope. I mean, you're getting 3 to 4 fight scenes an episode that are all cool and add to the plot. I mean, there's good storytelling while having fights that actually mean something. But once again, a lot of gore. A lot of terrible, horrible, bloody deaths that you're gonna have to go through. But you know, that's kind of what they're going for. The theme of the show is, like, you know, a lot of gore. Like, it's very excessive. But don't not watch the show because of that, unless of course you do not want to watch the show because of that. But I promise you're in for a good experience. I was really impressed to see such a good exclusive from Amazon Prime, you know? Like, this is not where I saw myself, like, finding a good show. Like, it's always on Netflix, or it's always on Hulu, or it's always on Disney Plus, but it's never on Amazon Prime. I promise you, you'll get hooked to the show really quickly. After the first episode, I couldn't believe what happened. I mean, like, it was a crazy cliffhanger. You'll get hooked so fast. I can see this being a really, really successful story and show in general because of everything they have going right now. I think a lot of people are starting to realize that animation is like the way to start telling stories. I mean, it's the peak way to tell your fiction stories. And now we're seeing, you know, these mainstream ass people making these dope fucking animations, bro. I mean, shit's gas. If I were to rate Invincible on a scale of 1 to 10 right now, I definitely give this shit an 8. Like, it is a solid 8 right now. The only reason it's not higher or not lower is because the plot seems to be dope. Like, I'm rating it mostly because of the plot and the action. The action is already got me sold, man. Those fight scenes so far have proven to me that there is going to be some dope stuff to come. But the plot seems to be going in a good direction that could be really interesting, so I'm excited to see what they do with it. But we just don't know yet. The finale is dropping tomorrow. Maybe we'll get some more information about, you know, what's going on with the story. It's a really entertaining show, and you can just sit down and finish it and be super satisfied with what you just watched. I promise you. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more of this content. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
JP Productions.